Hey guys, I've been wanting to make a video on my philosophy to achieving weight loss, fat loss, and specifically I wanted to focus on a calorie deficit, what it is, my preferred approach to achieving it. So let's just jump straight in. A calorie deficit simply means that you're consuming less calories in a day than you're expending. And it's generally accepted that a calorie deficit can be achieved in two major ways. One, eating less food, and two, doing more activity. And I think you'll also find that there are two major camps of people. There's a camp of folks that just say, yeah, I'll just eat less. People don't have a huge appetite, so taking some food away from them is not a big deal. The other camp is like me, where, we prefer to just do more in a day. So I wanted to talk to you about the latter and describe my reasoning behind why I prefer to just do more activity. So when I look to start a weight loss regimen for myself, which I have done this year, I started this about 7 months ago. My first goal, my first action was not to look at the food that I was eating and say, hey, let's reduce this. If anything, I just ate the same way, and I instead was like, hey, where can I increase my activity? So for those of you that know me, you know that I do jiu-jitsu. So I made a conscious effort to make sure that I was doing jiu-jitsu at least 3 times a week, but sometimes it would get all the way up to 6 times a week. So jiu-jitsu is a really, really intense form of exercise, right? When you're grappling with your partner or an opponent in competition, I mean, your heart rate is through the roof. You've got crazy amounts of adrenaline pumping, and it burns a lot of calories. The other aspect of this, and this is the thing that's really important to me, is that when I increase my activity to burn more calories and achieve weight loss, I want to find activities that I think are enriching to my life, things that might help me grow as a person and, help me achieve that health and fitness goal along the way. And so when I look at jiu-jitsu, I think it's like the perfect option. I'm in there and I'm constantly working on improving a skill set that I have by rolling with people and training day in and day out, and just getting better each time, and so having that type of focus for me makes the weight loss side of things extremely easy. And so the other additional activity that I added in was going for walks. And so I would walk anywhere from 2 to 3 miles for about 45 minutes or so. That's typically the longest I would walk. And I was burning a ton of calories. And, I would track everything that I ate. After, I think, the first 2 months, I was religiously tracking my macros. And I was still eating anywhere from 35 to about 3,700 calories a day, which is, quite a lot. And I was losing a lot of weight. I lost my first 15 pounds with calories at that level. I'll have to go back through the logs and see my weight versus my calorie intake. But the point I want to drive home there is that, I was engaging in an activity that was extremely intense, but it's also extremely enriching. To get into, I guess, sort of the psychology side of that, I'm giving myself something when I'm doing jiu-jitsu and when I'm increasing my activity, and I'm reinforcing my goal and objective of weight loss. So for me, that is a form of positive reinforcement. Positive not in the social aspect, but positive as in pluses and minuses. I'm giving myself more physical activity to get me closer to my goal. Let's look at the other side of this. If I started this weight loss journey and my first action was to look at the food that I was eating and say, I need to take this away from myself in order to achieve weight loss, man, I would not have been able to sustain this journey for the 7+ months that I've been doing it. And so for me, it now, having been doing this since early this year, I feel very strongly that I'm doing this the right way. So getting back to the psychology side of it, if I started this journey by taking food away, and we look at that from the pluses and minuses side of things, that's negatively reinforcing the goal that I'm chasing, which is, you know, a leaner physique and weight and fat loss. So I personally feel that me just doing more things and adding more enriching activities into my life to achieve weight loss is the preferred approach. If I were to just remove food and look at this from the pluses and minuses, and I'm just taking things away from myself, depriving myself of the thing that I enjoy doing, which is eating, this would be a lot harder. And, you know, mentally, I would probably not be in such a good state. So I know that's quite a tangent, but, you know, just to summarize, I think the best way to achieve weight loss, and I think the best way to achieve fat loss, getting that calorie deficit, is by doing more things in a day, not taking food away. But it's also important to note that there is a limit to that. And at some point, you will have to reduce calories. You know, you can only do so much activity in a day. And there comes a point in time where you do need to look at what you're eating, and you do need to make that decision of reducing your calorie intake. And I've done that. But I feel very fortunate that I haven't had to restrict my calories so severely to the point that I'm going insane. I'm mostly just focused on doing more things.